Guys, good afternoon. How are you? Really chilly days, huh? For all of you, those who are first timer in Delhi, how many of you are first timer in Delhi? It's tough, huh? It's like amazing weather for 15-20 days. It only lasts for 15-20 days, but it's going to be bone chilling. If you are from south or maybe from east, it is really tough to accommodate. But don't worry, 26th or maybe 31st. Again, you would be in one sweater, single jacket, or maybe even a shirt. So I welcome you all, guys. Today we are going to discuss first topic on arithmetic. It is basically unitary method. It is closely associated with time and work and pipes and tanks. But we have to develop basic knowledge for arithmetic. Now, when we talk about basic arithmetic, I would always do a lot of arithmetic with one tool that is called percentages. If you're good at percentages, you're good in arithmetic, right? Frankly telling you, very good at arithmetic. But the most important part is, if you're good at percentages, you're also good at data analysis. You may say you are going to become an IAS officer, IPS officer, IFS officer, or any administrative officer. For me or for them, you would be an analyst. Who is an analyst? Who analyze kare problems ka and gives solution, isn't it? That is the reason all of you want to become officers also, because you want to solve certain problems in the society. When I ask a lot of people, why do you want to become IAS officers? Many of you would give me an answer, yes, this is the relevant problem and I want to eradicate this problem, that problem, any sort of problems. Agreed? That's the reason you want to become IAS officers. Guys, how would you eradicate the problem? It's not that problem is there and you would go and you would have a magic wand and you would solve it. Agreed? The tool is analysis, data analysis. You would go through piles and piles of files. That is the reason there is reading comprehension in the paper. You would have to go through a lot of data. Data would be in the form of tables, pie charts, line graphs. Agreed? That data analysis is the most important work of an analyst. So you should be very good at data, right? And when you say I am very weak in mathematics, mathematics has nothing to do with data analysis. Otherwise, they can sincerely write, we want engineers and math students only. We don't want normal plain graduate. Problem solving skills हैं, ठीक है, वो develop करने. Next 3 classes are going to be really important, right? Now, let's talk about percentages. Meaning of percentages, out of 100, right? Out of 100. Out of 100. Many of us have struggled with percentages. Agreed? Agreed? This is the first question, generally we are asked. That is a parameter of judgment for our own academic performance, and maybe not only academic, maybe probably who you are is generally judged by percentages. Agreed or not? I still remember most of the family functions we used to go, people with good percentages would always be given a great welcome. Have you ever felt like that? अरे हर किसी की फैमिली में, everyone in the family feels like that, है ना? So probably I was not that big in percentages, so सबने feel किया, everyone has felt it ना, that percentages are really really important. Anyhow, you meet random relative and they want to talk to you. They won't talk about your hobbies, your interests, your games. Agreed? Your skills. All they talk about is, hey, 10th में कितना परसेंट था? कितना था भाई? 12th में कितना था? तुम्हारा इतना कम क्यों है? Why so less? Agreed. But frankly, today I'm going to give you something really amazing. There are 3 skills that you should be really good at. Right? 3 Guru Mantras. So we're going to talk about Guru Mantra 1, Guru Mantra 2 and Guru Mantra 3. 3 skills would actually give us a great logic about whole arithmetic. Right? And percentages are used in every chapter of arithmetic. I'll use it everywhere. And I'm going to do percentage as a topic as well. Meaningly, this is relevant only in terms of whole arithmetic, but as a topic also we'll talk about it. Clear? So, first skill, Guru Mantra 1 we call it. It talks about relationships. No, not your kind of relationship. Relation between fractions and percentages. So I say relationship, everyone is happy. Wow, let's talk about relationships. Huh? Relationship between fractions and percentages. Now, since childhood, everyone was good enough, junior classes, you may have scored 30 out of 30. Maybe 25 out of 25. And teacher used to give you, remarks, excellent, star, we used to count stars, excellent. And new age, they give stickers also, right? So I still, my daughters, they used to get stickers. I've got these many stickers. What is the meaning of 25 upon 25? It is equal to 1. It is equal to 1. And this is 100%, full marks, isn't it? So please, 1 corresponds to 100%. And 1 by 2 corresponds to 50%. 1 by 3 corresponds to 33.33%. 1 by 4, 25%. 1 by 5, 20%. 1 by 6, 16.66%, or we write it as 16 2 by 3% as well. 16.66%, 16 2 by 3%. Right? 1 by 7, 14.28%. 1 by 8 is 12.5%. 1 by 9 is 11.11%. 1 by 10 is 10%. 1 by 11 is 9.09%. Can you write it? 1 by 12, 8.33%. 1 by 13, 7.69%. 1 by 14, 7.28%. 1 by 15, 6.66%, right? 6.66%, or we write it as 6 2 by 3% as well. 6 2 by 3% as well, right? And 1 by 16 is 6.25%. You write this table, right? And this should be on your tips always. Now you may say, sir, what is the use? I'm going to talk about it as well. Have you written it properly? Guys, have you written it? Can you write it? Write it, no problem. Please take your time. एक लिखो यार जल्दी। ठीक है, आ जाओ यार, आ जाओ। गेट इन प्लीज, क्विक क्विक। बैठो, आगे बैठो यार। Have a seat. Now I would be the last teacher who would tell you, remember this, remember the tricks. There is no point of talking about the tricks, right? There is no trick. What is the relevance? Let's talk about the relevance of this logic. Have you written it, beta? Yes, come quick. Jaldi. Now, many times you appear for a lot of exams and you really struggle with percentages. So why do you do that? Why, these kind of questions are asked? A lot of time people will say, what is 77.77% of 8181? Now most of you do this, 77.77 upon 100 into 8181, which comes out to be 7777 upon 10000 into 8181. Sir, cut नहीं रहा, कट चुका है. Got it? This is what they are. Because you guys don't understand why this is given to you. I am asking you, very simply asking you, what is 1 by 9? 11.11%. Multiply by 7. What is 7 by 9? 77.77%. So basically he wanted you to convert this into a fraction, meaning this was actually 7/9 of 8181. Cancel, 909. Answer is 6363. Khatam. Point number 1. This is really important. 1/9. 11.11%, right? What would be, guys, 22.22% from today onwards? 2 by 9. What would be 44.44% from today onwards? 4 by 9. What would be 55.55%? 5 by 9. 77.77%. 7 by 9. What is 88.88%? 8 by 9. None of my students is going to make this mistake. Multiples of 1 upon 9. Is it clear? And they would ask you these type of things in data interpretation. They would give you, this is the increase in production. The production has increased by 77.77%. Now you don't know what is 77.77%. You're gone. Clear? So this is point number 1. Multiples of 1 upon 9. Right? What do we call it? We call it reflection. 77.77, 55.55, 44.44. So dot acts as a reflection. 11 ka multiple dot 11 ka same multiple. Right? 22.22, 33.33 is 1 by 3. We know 44.44 is 4 by 9. 55.55 is 5 by 9 and so on. Is it okay, guys? Sure? Great. Now you understand that is the reason we have written this table. I have picked up this. Now I'll pick up things from here only. Right? Shall we do the part 2? Chalo, point number 2, important thing. I say, what is 63.63% of 8877? Got it. Good. Okay. Now this is something that is coming from 1 upon 11, which is 9.09%. What is 1 by 11? 9.09%. So what would be 2 by 11, guys? 18.18%. 3 by 11 would be 27.27%. 4 by 11 would be 36.36%. 5 by 11 would be 45.45%. 45%. 6 by 11 would be 54.54%. 7 by 11 would be 63.63%. So basically the key is a multiple of 9 dot a multiple of 9. It is multiples of 1 by 11. So basically this is 7 by 11 of 8877, 807, 5649. And goes on. 72.72%, 81.81%, isn't it? 90.90%. Clear hai? Guys, is it okay? Important. This is really important. You would see these. So point number 2 is multiples of 1 by 11. Point number 1 was multiples of 1 by 9. Point number 2 is multiples of 1 by 11. There are two keywords. You would see these percentages in a lot of data. Proceed. Anyone having any trouble, you are most entitled to ask me questions also, right? Guys, come on. Yes. You're writing. Chala jaye. Then third, now you would directly link it, I know. Now you know the table, you know what I'm asking you, but these are important percentages. I say 37.5% of 8064. What do you say? Same table would come. Table se aayega kuch, come on. Yes, good. Mr. Chaitanya, very nice. What is 1 by 8? 12.5%. 1 by 8 is 12.5%. Remember, odd multiples of 1 by 8 are most asked question in your paper. If you multiply by 3, guys, dekhna zara please. 3 by 8 would be 12 3s are 36.5, 3 is a 1.5, 36 plus 1.5 is 37.5. 3 8 is 37.5%. Multiply by 5. This is multiply by 3, multiply by 5. 5/8 of a number would be how many? How much? 12 5s are 60, 0.55 is a 2.5, 62.5. You would see a lot of these percentages in your exams. 37.5, 62.5. Now, one more logic for 62.5. Listen to me. 62.5. Sir, 62.5% is equivalent to 50% plus 12.5%. Agreed? Agreed. What is 50%? 1 by 2. What is 12.5%? 1 by 8. Add it, comes out to be 5 by 8. One more way of thinking. Clear? One more way of logic. Well, you know percentages, so you can crack it your choice, right? If I say what is, if I multiply this by 7, 7/8 of a number would actually be 87.5%. Right? If I say what is 112%, dekhna, what is 112%? 112.5%. So don't worry, it is 100% plus 12.5%. 100% is 1. 12.5% is 1 by 8, comes out to be 9/8 of a number. Clear? So never be scared of percentages more than 100%. It's very easy. It is 100% plus something. Don't bother. 100% is what? 1. 200% is what? 2. Clear? Shall we proceed? अबे यार कुछ तो बोलो. Shall we proceed? We're lads. So today onwards, nobody makes these kind of things now. What is 20%? 20% is 1 by 5. 40% would be 2 by 5. I don't want my students to do 40% is 40 upon 100. No. 40% is 2/5 of a number, right? 60% is 3/5 of a number, right? 80% is 4/5 of a number. 100% is 5 by 5, which is 1, right? 120% is 6 by 5. 140% is 7 by 5. Why I am teaching you this? Because while doing my arithmetic, I am going to use these things. At that time, you should be accustomed that Rishi sir uses like this only. So multiples of 20, you don't have to make assumption 60% is 60 upon 100. The point is, it used to give us comfort when we used to write. But over there, you don't have space. And they are not going to give you any marks for writing skills. What is the point? Clear? Hai? Is it okay? Guys, dead people. Then 25%, 1 by 4. 75% is 3 by 4. 125% is 5 by 4. 175% is 7 by 4. 225% is 9 by 4. 225% can also be thought as 200% plus 25%. 200% is 2. 25% is 1 by 4. 2 plus 1 by 4. 9 by 4. This is what should have been taught in the classrooms actually when you were young. But they used to do 80 upon 100, cancel, because we always wanted to generate marks, step marks. If somebody did otherwise also, parents would beat them up. I was beaten very mercilessly by my parents as well as my teachers also. I used to ask a lot of questions. So I used to get beaten up thoroughly. In our, हमारे ज़माने में it was like relevant to beat up. So if a teacher beats up, the parents would be happy. Very good. You should have beaten him twice. Right? Anyhow, the point is 5% play. Let's talk about what is 5% play. A lot of us struggle with that, right? So I just want you to just pay attention and don't write anything. Let's not write it. Think about it, right? If I ask you what is 55% of 480 without writing, 264. Now, without writing, you cannot do it. Now, you treat this as 55%. As an analyst, you should treat it as 50% plus 5% of 480. It should go in your mind, right? What is 50% of 480? Half, 240. एक बात सुनो, if 50% is 240, All of you. 5% would be 24. Right? Listen to me. 50% is 1 by 2. Then 5% would be 1 by 20. 1 decimal. If you are able to do this, only 1 decimal has to be changed. 240 upon 10 more is 24. This is 5%. If this is your 50%, right, this would be your 5%. So this is 264. 5% is the easiest thing to do. Got it? If you know 50%, you should know 5%. All right? Clear है? एक और करके देखें. One more. Let's have a go at it. Don't write it. Just analyze it. Don't worry. Right? What is 45% of 360? Tell me. Just don't write. Do it. $162. Again, just hold on. What is this? This is 50% minus 5% of 360. 50% is 180. 5% is 18. 162. Just a way of thinking. Isn't it? Just a way of thinking. Nothing else. Very simple way of thinking. Rather than writing it, it can be easily sorted out. हो जाएगा guys? लिख के देख लो. Kindly write it in your own words now. Please. Play of 5% बोलते हैं अपन लोग इसको. 5% play. है ना? So 5% has to be managed. Come on, 65% is 60% plus 5%, right? 5% is easy because 50% is easy, and just 1 0 here and you get 5%, right? It has to be managed easily. Then comes can I proceed, guys? Right? Then comes $2.5%. Generally, 2 percentages that are genuinely asked are these: 52.5% of 420. Now listen to me. Listen to me. It's very easy actually. 50% is 1 by 2. 5% is 1 by 20. 2.5% is 1 by 40. Just a change of things, right? Half, upon 10 is 5%, upon half is 5 by 2 is 2.5, and this is 1 by 20, 1 by 40. But how do you play it? What is 50% here? 210. 210. 5% would be 21. So 2.5% would be half of 21. Half of 21 is 10.5. Easy to implement. Looks like very tough to write, but very easy to implement. What did I do? I did 50%. I did 5%. Half of 5% is 2.5%. Nothing very tough. ये लिखने में it looks like पता नहीं क्या लिख दिया. Nothing. It's very simple if you manage it over here rather than writing it over here. Isn't it? Now you see how futile it is to write. Agreed? एक और करें? Guys, let's do one more. What is 47.5% of 440? See? What's your name? अंगद, नाम ही जबरदस्त, रख दिया पैर तो हिलेंगे नहीं। यस 2009। देखो देखो सुनो, लेट्स मैनेज इट 50%। व्हाट इज 50%? 220, राइट? व्हाट इज 5%? 22. What is 2.5%? 11. So it is minus 11. 220 minus 11 comes out to be 209. खत्म। ठीक बोल रहे हैं अंगद? ठीक है यश? Now see, just curb your intent to write and feel good, isn't it? That's the whole point. You know, when the examination is in front of you, when this is a paper in front of you, you have that urge to write. Then you need space. Space is limited, isn't it? So how do you manage that limited space? That is really important. Use the margins. Don't make copies in CSAT. When you're solving, just pull out a page and do your rough work on that page. If you are smart, in your exam also, your first rough work has to be with the pencil. Then the second rough work has to be with a pen. So you can write something on a page where you have written with the pencil. So now your rough pages become double. Agreed? Once you have done rough work with pencil, then you can always proceed to do your rough work with pen. Agreed? That's the way you have to solve paper over there. That is the reason we say you have to do these, you have to have this kind of concept in your mind. Rather than, most of us would land with this thing. 47.5% of 440 is equal to 47.5 upon 100 into 440. Right? Cancel. 475 upon 100 into 44. Khatam. You are done. That's it. You have utilized a lot of space. You have utilized a lot of time, and I know 90% of you won't be solving ahead. इसे आगे क्या करोगे? कैंसिल, है ना? कैंसिल करेगा 11, ये हो गया 25, इसको इससे कैंसिल करेगा, कितना लेंदी हो गया? Because your analysis are wrong. Because you think you're good at it, but he just understood that you should be able to do this. अभी clear है? So point number 1, Guru Mantra 1 was talking about relationship between percentages and fractions. Clear? Then comes Guru Mantra 2. These are very famous classes, guys. You can find it on YouTube also. Guru Mantra 2 is very helpful for banking, shares, stocks, equity, interest. A lot of people would come to us and they would say, sir, teach us about stocks and shares. I'm doing it today. If you have good open mind, Guru Mantra 1 and Guru Mantra 2 would be related, and then it would produce something amazing, right? Now understand, what is Guru Mantra 2? It is percentage increase or percentage decrease. Now what do you mean by percentage increase and decrease? Most of us make सबसे childish mistake when there is a data on percentages, है ना? Data on percentages. Why do you invest? Why do you invest? To make money. Your money should also produce money. Agreed? That was the concept of banking. You have money, that money is at your home. So obviously that money is lying in your almirah, or maybe lying in your sanduk, or maybe lying in a round pot, right? Inside Mother Earth. But it is not producing anything. So the concept of banking came was when they wanted to make more money out of money. Now, how beautiful it was. Think of somebody who introduced banks. Anyone having any history, knowledge of banking? Yes. A lot of segregated knowledge that I'm getting. Lala Lajpat Rai, Spain, Napoleon. Anyone having exact knowledge? There is something amazing about this device. It imparts knowledge and it breaks relationships. Right? So the first utility is good, right? If you read about it, everything is mentioned, how banking came into picture. But the beauty was money making money. Yes, it started in Europe, right? And I'll tell you how it started. I'll let you know today how interesting banking is, how bankers earn money through your own hard-earned money. At the end, you have earned that money, but they are making money out of it. So we'll talk about that concept, right? So let's see if you understand this. पहला चीज क्या है? Yes, Mr. Chaitanya. You want to teach me something? You are from Rajasthan. That is the reason you want to do it. Yes, if you really want to have Indian banking history, you need to visit a place, Bikaner. Yes, do visit that. There are museums and there is a lot of knowledge about, currency and money, how they used to make money. We'll talk about that also. So, first is percentage increase. If I say you have a number X, right, and I say increase X by 10%. Increase X by 10%. So most of us would do this. X plus 10% of X. X plus 10 upon 100 times X. Cancel. X plus X upon 10, which is 10X plus X upon 10, which is 11 by 10X, which is equal to 11.11%. 11.11 times X. This is, most of you do this only. Agreed? Agreed. This is what you would do in the paper also. आज से नहीं करोगे. From today onwards, you are my students, so remember this. Increase by 10%, just multiply the number by 1.1. Khatam. Multiply the number by 1.1. I say increase by 20%. Guys, multiply by 1.2. खत्म. 100 था, 100 को 20% इंक्रीज करना था. Immediately say it is 120. Why? Because it is 100 into 1.2, which comes out to be 120. Clear, guys? Increase by 25%. Multiply the number by 1.25. Increase by 30%. Multiply the number by 1.3. 1.3, isn't it? If I say increase the number by 90%, multiply by 1.9. सिंपल, यही तो किया. देख, x को 10% इंक्रीज करना था, एंड प्रोडक्ट वाज 1.1 टाइम्स x. 20% इंक्रीज करना था 1.2x. 30% इंक्रीज would be 1.3x. So why do we need this bigger step? हाँ दानिश, क्लियर है ना? डायरेक्टली लिखो, उसका कारण बताऊंगा मैं तुम्हें, डोंट वरी, उसका रीजन बोलेंगे, ठीक है? देन व्हाट इज इंक्रीज बाय 100%? You're into a relationship, then you say when we are together our happiness is going to be 100% more, है ना? So what is increase by 100%? Multiply by 2, twice the happiness. Though it is vice versa. It becomes 20% of the happiness that you had, है ना? Increase by 100% is multiply by 2. So When you want to start a business with your friend, you say, let's start a business. Let's put up a coffee shop, right? Let's make it something. And most of the startups have begun like that. First year we will make 100% growth. Meaningly, we would have twice the business in first year, right? So 100% increase by 100% is multiply by 2. Increase by 200% would be multiplied by 3. Increase by 300% would be multiply the number by 4, and so on. All right, remember this, 100% is into 2, 200% increases into 3, 300% increases into 4, 400% increases into 5. Clear it, guys? Right. Similarly, if I say increase a number by 1000%, multiply by 11. What is the use? Point is, what is the use? Isn't it? Use has to be defined. What is inflation? Most of you have done GS and might be very good at economics. I am not pretty good at economics. What is inflation? Increase in price level. बढ़ जाती, प्राइसेस बढ़ जाएंगे, परचेजिंग पावर कम हो जाएगी, राइट? यश, do you know how this works? General price rise, she is right, general price rise. So is inflation good? Necessary? Huh? Necessary evil. Brilliant. Chaitanya has great vocabulary also. With great calculation skills, he has great vocabulary. It's a necessary evil. How? But what is a moderate limit? You guys said moderate limit. Yes, RBI or any nationalized bank would set it. Guys, come on, talk about it. No issues. You all can contribute. I would love to. बताओ कुछ और बताना इन्फ्लेशन के बारे में. Yes, he's right. Because if there is inflation, there is price rise. So it attributes to the increase in wages also. It attributes to the increase in demand because there is a supply chain that has to be fed. The supply chain would be fed only when you have a demand, isn't it? So definitely it is good to a certain limit, and that limit is 4 to 6%, because wages also have to increase, right? So obviously in that case inflation is important also. But do you know how it works? So suppose I give you a question. I say the price of a commodity is ₹10. Rate of inflation is 500%. What would be the price of the same commodity in 2 years? In 2 years. Come on, tell me. Then I'll answer your question why it is 4 to 5%. Why more than 5 to 6% is dangerous. I'll answer your question. Tell me. Yeah, this 500% inflation means there is a civil war going on. There is nothing left in the country, that kind of a situation. You might have seen it in a lot of American movies. civil war going on into some country. So what is the problem with the civil war? It is not only casualties in terms of life and infrastructure. This is also one casualty that happens. Inflation rates shoot up. That is the biggest casualty actually. What would be the price of this commodity after 2 years? 150. What is your answer? 360. 360. Anyone else? Beta, what is your answer? Now, whatever inflation or whatever percentage rates we talk about, they are cumulative. Alright, this is where you guys make mistake. What do you mean by cumulative? So listen to me. If the price was rupees 10 and there is an increase of 500% increase, so first year rate would be 100 into 6, 60. Now this is wrong, not 120, not 120. Now the problem is, whatsoever is the 500% increase, it would actually be on this figure, because all inflation is cumulative. Year by year it increases. Getting my point? So next year your 500% increase would be on 60, which means it is actually 60 into 6, which is 360 rupees. Phenomenal increase. A commodity which was actually priced rupees 10 with 500% increase in 2 years, it would be priced 360 rupees. That is the reason inflation has to be curbed. Because तुम 10% भी genuine मान के चलो, first year if the price of the commodity, let's talk about 10%. First year if the price of the commodity is 100, 10% inflation would be 110, then 10% more inflation would come out to be 121, because that 10% increase is over here. Alright, again 10% increase would result in 133.1. So basically you are thinking of 10%, 10%, 10%. As a normal human being, you are thinking of 30%. But actually the increment is 33.1%. Because it is cumulative. Got my point? So remember why inflation is dangerous? Because inflation is cumulative. Clear? Hai? Which means that once it increases. Now what is the base price of bread? 50. It cannot decrease now. Though the value of fuel may change, but now 50 is constant. Getting my point? That is the reason inflation is dangerous, because there are certain commodities which are there with the fixed price. It cannot decrease afterwards. Alright. That is where we struggle. Because if there is a 10% inflation, then your salary should also increase. So you should demand near about 20% increment in the salary. Why? Because you have to save money also. And what is the genuine increase in salary every year? 10%. So that is the reason, government tries to curb it as soon as it touches 6 to 7%. There is a scare in the market. Yes, inflation should not be more than 4-5% actually. Have you understood the concept? What do you mean by cumulative? Have you understood how inflation works? Right? So because you guys knew what is inflation. Today, you know how it works. Guys, is it clear? Pakka? Chalo, great. Now, percentage increase ke baad we have to talk about, dekho yaar, wherever there is increase, there is decrease. Right? Then I say percentage decrease. Decrease in percentages. Decrease in percentages. Now when we talk about decrease in percentage, again I would say, what is your method? If I say decrease y by 10%, obviously we say y minus 10% of y and all that, necessary evil. Chaitanya has given us a beautiful word, right? 10% is 10 upon 100. y, which is y minus 1/10 of y, which is 9 by 10 times y, which is 0.9 times y. So can I make a table? I say if you have to decrease by 10%, multiply by 0.9, khatam, direct, right? If I have to decrease by 20%, multiply by 0.8. If I have to decrease by 25%, multiply by 0.75. Agreed? Decrease by 30%, multiply by 0.7. Decrease by 90%, multiply by 0.1. Decrease by 100%, over, breakup, 0. Decrease is beautiful. There is no decrease beyond 100%. Increase is phenomenal, exponential. You want to grow. You want to grow in wealth. You want to grow in reputation. It is phenomenal. It doesn't stop. But quantum is the decrease. Right? We are all gaining to lose. Isn't it? You have to agree. Phenomenal. But decrease is 100% decrease. You're gone. It's over. So remember these words. At the end you go alone. It's 100% decrease. Do good. Be good. Have faith. Remember 3 words. Do good, be good, have faith. 3 words हमेशा याद रखना है. 3 sentences. Never do something out of the way, impossible to gain immense in terms of wealth or reputation or even knowledge. It is dangerous, right? Have you heard that song? Dangerous. Now, how do you use it? How do you use it? Now, we would create a data and we would analyze the data. Okay? It's a beautiful, simple data. I have made it, right? So it is like a fictitious data, but you would absolutely love it. Let's see. Zero 06, 07, 07, 08, 08, 09. So we talk about 3 products: Dove, right? Pierce, Lux. These are all soaps, right? Lifebuoy. The Lifebuoy was so famous. I don't know whether you know this or not. Are you aware? Yes. Lifebuoy was the lifeline of India. We used to bath, we used to shampoo. It's like men do that genuinely, right? And I am that. Even I'm like that. I'll use the soap for bathing my hair also, everywhere. I can wash my car also with the same soap, right? So Lifebuoy was a lifeline because there was no other soap available. So suddenly it became a hand wash soap, and suddenly it vanished, but it came back very strong. You know, it has come back very strong now, right? Now, I say 2006-07, Dove made an increase of 10% in volume, 20% in volume, 10% in volume loss. Negative means loss of volume. So these percentages are increase or decrease in the volume. Increase or decrease in the volume, right? So this is 20%, 20%, 10%. Lux 0607. Ashwarya started endorsing 30% increase volume. Abhishek Bachchan joined her 10% loss, right? They got married, 20% loss in the volume. Fictitious figure, but you would remember something really amazing out. Same kind of question has come in the paper. We'll talk about it. Now my question to you is, if I talk about Yash, all 3 brands, right? So which brand has shown percentage increase? How much percentage increase from 06 to 08? Dove has shown how much percentage increase, Peers has shown how much percentage increase, and Lux has shown how much percentage increase or decrease in the volume. नहीं, तीनों का वैल्यू बता यार अंगद. दूसरा for a normal student it would be sir 30% in Dove and 40% in Peers and 20% in Lux. Agreed? But now listen, percentage increases and decreases given to you over the year are cumulative. Meaningly, meaningly, please understand, whatsoever is data over here, increase by 10% is this data, and this data has increase of 20%. Right? So suppose the base data over here, base was 100. Guys, what is 10% increase into 1.1? Suni, right? 10% increases into 1.1. So it would give you this data, this data. Is पे 20% increase would be into 1.2. So it is 11 into 12, 132. 100 becomes 132. So what is the percentage increase? 32% increase. This is the use of the thing that I have taught you. Otherwise, if you assume x, y, z, you would say x, 10% of increase in x is 1.1x. Then 20% of increase in 1.1x is something you would not be able to do it. Clear hai? Guys, is it clear? And it gives you increase and decrease वाला जो हमने फंडा किया था. बताओ यार किसी को नहीं क्लियर है? Come on. Anyone having any doubts? You are an individual. Your doubts are individual. You don't have to bother about a group. Be good, do good, have faith. Come on. Brilliant. So next one, great. Niti, good. Next is, sir, if the base figure is 100, 20% increases, guys, 1.2. And again 20% increases into 1.2 becomes 144, which means 44% increase. And let's see the effect of Mr. Bachchan. Right? See, Lux 100, 30% increase into 1.3 and then 10% decrease into 0.9. This is the reason I taught you this. 10% decreases multiplied by 0.9, right? Which becomes 117. So 100 becomes 117, 17% increase. This is the use of data. Remember, if this data was given to you at the start of the class, most of you would have answered this question as 30% Dove, Peers 40% and Lux 20%. And most of you, all of you are graduates and postgraduates. That's the worst part. We were not skilled on this, but they are asking you questions. It is not your fault. We should have been skilled like this. We should have been, if you are asking questions on data interpretation in UPSC entrance, why haven't you taught it in 8th class, 9th class, 10th class? Why were we given step marks? When you grow up, you raise this question. When you find a position, why should you be taught here? Why not I can teach at school level? Isn't it? It could have been so easy for all of you. Abhi clear hai sabko? Let's talk about same stuff now, the problem area, the gray area that you guys usually face. The gray area is if I say, 07 to 09, how much percentage increase was Dove, how much was Peers, and how much was Lux. Now again you get confused, sir. If he is asking 2007 to 9, shall we consider 2006 to 7? No. No. Why should you bother? When you were talking about 06 to 08, did you ask me data about 05 to 06? Don't bother. Now your base figure lies here. Khatam. 06, 07 to 09. Don't bother about what was increase or decrease in year 6, 06 to 07. You are least bothered. So you start from here. You say this is the base figure 100, 100, 100. Talk like that. Comparative data. You have to compare between three quantities. In that case, you don't have to bother about previous year. Is it okay? Is it all right? So, yes. I said, if I'm asking you about percentage growth in the volume from 07 to 09, then you don't bother about this figure. As a manager, I said, what is your name? What is your name? Agnish, as a manager, you came to me with this data. I say, boss, what do you think of the growth of the product from 07 to 09? No, you should not. I'm least bothered. My question has to be answered from 07 to 09 only. I don't bother about previous figures because I came in 07. Got your point? So don't bother. Please don't bother. Right? In this case, this would be, guys, Dove, 20% increase, 10% decrease, 12 nines are 108. So there is an increase of % in Dove. Then Pierce is a strong brand. Maybe Priti Jinta was endorsing it. I'm sorry, I don't know. 132, 100 to 32, 32% increase. See, brilliant. The cascade effect. Right? 100 into 0.9, 10% loss into 0.8. 100 becomes 72. There is a loss of 28%. Oof. The brand is gone. Were you able to answer it before that? You should have said 30% loss, sir. No, it is cumulative. It is 28% loss. Clear? Guys, is it clear? Sure? Shall we proceed? Right, shall we proceed? Pakka. So, Chaitanya invested in two equities. Equity 1, equity 2. So Chaitanya invested in two equities, equity 1, equity 2. In first year, equity 1 gave a growth of 10%, and equity in second year, equity 1 gave a growth of 30%. Right? And equity 1 in first year gave an increase of 20%, and second year also 20%. Which was the better investment? See? UPSC में पूछा, सबने बोला सर, option was both the equities are equal. So 90% people said both the equities are equal. Why? उसको दिख रहा है 10%, 30% is 40%, 20%, 20% is 40%. Why would UPSC hire you? They are hiring you for analysis. This is your data analysis. दोनों में 40% दिखा रहा है तुम्हें बैंकिंग नहीं आता है तुम्हें, सिंपल लॉजिक नहीं आता है. Come on guys, what is your answer? Second, everyone, beta, what is your answer? Equity 2. कितना परसेंट है इक्विटी 2 में? What is the growth in equity 2? How much growth is there in equity 2? I tension क्यों ले रहे यार? What is your name? Your name? अंकुर, टेंशन में क्यों है? स्ट्रेस नहीं लेना है, ठीक है? चिंता चिता समान है. सुन, पास let it be you. ठीक है, you invested, sir. This is, you came to me, sir. this is the performance of two equities. Sir, which equity I should invest in? Equity you understand ना guys? Right? कहाँ पे invest करेगा तुम? तो मैं बोलेगा देखो यार, अंकुर, देखो बेटा, if you invest 100 rupees over here, right, 10% growth would be 1.1. ठीक है? Same thing, yeah, right? 30% growth would be into 1.3. So 11 3s are 143. So 100 becomes 143. Equity one is giving you growth of 43%. That is the way to read it, right? Similarly, if you Ankur invest 100 rupees over here, beta, if you invest rupees 100 here, right, 100 into 1.2 into 1.2 comes out to be 144. So this is giving you return of 44%. Which is a better equity? Equity 2. For a normal student, both the equities were same. ठीक है, अभी समझ आ गया? Guys, is it okay? लिख लो, please write it. Increase or decrease is really important. हाँ, same है. Same है, don't worry. Abhi clear hai guys? All good? Good. Now, again I have got equity 1, or I say share 1. I was stock में देखो यार, stock 1, stock 2. A lot of people over here take a lot of advice from me. Sir, which share to invest? So they show me data. Most of the time, over here, they would show me data. Sir, which share to invest? Right? So I would always give a good answer because I understand returns. कुछ नहीं है यार, simple data. पहली चीज़ घबराना नहीं आप. You're my students. I really love that you ask me questions. But I don't really, don't be scared. If I'm asking you a question, I'm not judging you. I'm improving you. All of you should think like that, okay? And you have to answer me. गलत बोलो. क्या हो गया? कुछ तो बोलेगा. सारी उम्र से नहीं बोला आप तुम लोग. So there was a teacher. I'm from a Hindi medium background. So I did my 10th in Hindi medium, 12th in Hindi medium, and I was more scared of English rather than being scared of भूत प्रेत से नहीं डरते थे इतना जितना English से डर लगते थे. Really scared. Many of you can relate it if you have a village background. Anyone having village background? So village schools, it is really tough. So first time I went to college and the teacher, was taking introduction. So my turn came. So I said, sir, my name is Rishi Bhargawa. That's it. And he said, pardon. I never knew the meaning of pardon. He said, pardon. Everyone laughing. But somebody, good gentleman sitting with me, he says, hey, dobara bol de. So I said, okay. But the teacher got hold of me. He said, isko aata nahi. Why for 6 months we have had real fun. Every day I used to go to the class. Every day he would say, Mr. Bhargav, stand up. You have to read the chapter. And I would read, and my pronunciation was very poor. My grammar was very poor. Everything very poor. He would make everyone laugh. Within 6 months, I improved. Why? Because I never thought it as a challenge that he is making fun of me. He was trying to improve me. Isn't it? That's a way to think that Mr. Bhargav, he remembers me, right? Probably, he wants to improve me. And I really thank him for the courage that he has given in terms of English as a language. Sometimes I speak in 1 or 2 words in Hindi, so I would get a message from students. A lot of students are watching it online. Sir, only English, right? So I understand it is all because of the teacher. So stock 1, stock 2. Nobody writes. Look at it here. Nobody writes. Leave it, right? I say stock 1 first year, stock 1 second year, right? Is giving me 20% and minus 20%. And this is giving me minus 10% and plus 10%. which stock should I invest in? अंगद क्या बोलता है? Come on, you have time. No, this is 20. This is plus 20. This is plus 20 minus 20. Minus 10 plus 10. Better to invest in stock 1. Second wala. It is plus 20 minus 20. First stock. So plus 20 minus 20. अंकुर क्या बोलता है बेटा? क्या करेगा? करके दिखा. Which one? Second one. सुनो. If you invest 100 rupees over here, 100, 20% growth is into 1.2 and 20% loss is into 0.8. So 100 becomes 96. This stock is giving you a loss of 4% loss. 4% loss. Cumulative loss हो रहा है. Got it? Second one. 100 into 1.1 into 0.9. Okay. Oh, yes, you are right. चलो फिर फर्क तो कोई नहीं पड़ेगा. Into 0.9 नहीं, पर ठीक है. I should be methodical. 1.99. 100 becomes 99 minus 1% loss. Obviously, stock 2 is better. It is giving you less loss. Again, I say loss is quantum. But the point is its proposition should be less. The quantity wise it should be less. So I think stock 2 is better. This was asked in UPSC. (2020). Same kind of question, they would elongate it. This was a mobile phone whose price is increased by 10% and sold to someone. Then he sells it to someone at 10% loss. What is the cumulative? People say there is no cumulative loss or gain because they think of it as a zero. Got it? So I hope this is good now. This is how banking works. Right? So this is something to understand. If you understand this, you are understanding, today you are understanding compound interest. I'll give you the difference, how banking works. Listen to this. Is it okay? Guys, is it okay? So now stocks won't be an issue, ना? एक और करके देखते हैं. चलो. One more. Stock 1. Stock 2. First year, second year, 25%, 20%. Right. 30%, 10%. Stock 3. 50% minus 20%. बताइए. Stock 1, Stock 2, Stock 3. What is the return in 2 years? और तीनों स्टॉक पे कितना रिटर्न है? Come on. थर्ड में 20%. Are you okay? 20% ही होगा. Come on, everyone try it. Hmm. 50, 43 and 20. 30 तो नहीं होगा यार. 50 minus 20 is. Yes, I changed. ये करने दे उसको. Yes, Jaswinder nowadays. Don't ask यार. Hey, sorry, this is 50 here. My writing is very poor. I am the data guy. I'm telling you. If you have to learn something, na learn it data way. Love data. Okay? Okay? Danish? हाँ. Everyone, tell me. अंकुर तू बता बेटा. Brilliant. Tension लेनी छोड़ दे. Breathe. Right? जैसे your favorite subject you breathe ना. Ask questions, breathe. Don't worry. All right? This can be managed. This is something good. This is something easy. Breathe easy. All right? So now listen. I think this is first is 100 into 1.25 into 1.2, which is 150. Yes, right. First is 50% increase. And second is 100 into 1.3 into 1.1, 143. 100 becomes 43% increase. And third is 100 into 50 is 1.5 into 0.8, which is 120. 100 becomes 120, 20% increase. Anyone having any trouble in this, because if you have understood this, you don't even imagine you have done something amazing. Okay, done. Yes. No, don't do that, yeah. No, cumulative into karo. So now listen to me. Whatever figure was here, 25% increase give you this. So this figure has to be multiplied by 1.2. So what is this figure? ये देख, ये first year की figure आई, उसको 20% increases into 1.2. Understand this as a concept. All right. Now listen to me. What is banking? What is banking? Right. What is the difference between simple interest and compound interest? देखना जरा please. You put 100 rupees and percentage increase is 10%. He says rate of interest is 10%. So what is rate of interest? Rate of interest is by what percentage your money is going to grow. Right? Simple interest, as the name suggests, is very simple. Right? First year increase was 10 rupees. Then second year is also 10 rupees. Third year is 10 rupees. Fourth year is 10 rupees and so on. So if you want to borrow money, borrow it in terms of simple interest. Remember that, right? Borrowing is always on simple interest. But if you want to lend money, right? You want to lend money. Now see, 100 rupees, 10% compound interest is 110. First year compound interest and simple interest is same. Second year, 10% increase again is 110 into 1.1, 121. Right? Third year it is 133.1 and so on. Now listen, on rupees 100, see, first year there was no difference. Second year there is a difference of rupee 1. Third year there is a difference of rupees 3.31 and so on. Agreed? If you just increase the zeros, 100 की जगह million, 100 million कर दो. Think of how much difference this will increase. This is banks earning. They are taking your money, simple logic. They are taking your money at 10% simple interest, giving you 10% simple interest, and they are lending your money at 10% compound interest. See the amount in 3 years. 3.31 on rupees 100. If I say 100 million rupees, how much money they would earn? Into million कर दोगे? Same 100 million कर दोगे तुम? Isn't it? या 2 zero कम कर दोगे? That is where money grows money. But the best part about banking is they give you not 10% simple interest, they give you 4% compound interest. Right? And they lend money at an average of 9% to 10%, and an average home loan, a consumer loan, this loan, that loan, then it would be astonishing. The figures would astonishingly change. More money seeping in. That's the reason banks have lots of employees, heavy infrastructure, they are paying rent, How are they earning money? Through your money. Now you understood what is the difference between simple interest and compound interest, right? Now you understood how you work on percentages. Chalega, guys. Chalo, let's see. So I'm going back to that same question, Lux wala question. This was it, right? This was it, right? So I say that my question is volume of Dow in year 2006 is 20,000 units. What would be its volume in year 2008? At the end of 2008 कर लीजिए. रघु, come on. Two, three, four. 143 हुआ ना? 32 हुआ ना? 26400. 26400. अरे डव को बोला यार, ये रिटन में डव है. You are interested in that, right? अभिषेक बाबू. Till the time you don't dig deep into these things, na, you would never learn what they are asking you. This is what exactly they ask you in the paper. There is no tricks. Somebody was there talking to me, a student, sir, I know all the tricks. They don't need tricksters. Remember that. Yes, 26400. What do you say? No? Hey, same thing we replicate. Listen to me. Agnesh, listen to me. Angad hua. Niti. Raghu. What is your name, beta? Sanjay. हो गया? You were assuming 100 and you were able to predict percentage increase. Here, come on. Now I have given you a figure. You should be happy. I say this is what? Dove, this figure in year 2006 is 20000. So, Sanjay, 10% increase to 06 to 07 into 1.1. Right? You would get this figure. And then 20% increases into 1.2. What is the problem? 20,000 units, 10% increases into 1.1, 20% increases into 1.2, comes out to be 2640000. Khatam. You should have done it with your eyes closed. हाँ? हाँ, 32% increase कर दो. 20,000 पे 32% increase is what? 64,000. 2,6400 to 26400. Come on, yeah. This is so easy. This is something you should have done. Agreed. This is something you should have done. Can I ask you one more on the same data? Is it okay? Try it. Don't be scared, right? Don't be scared. Can I erase this? Now let's see. If I say volume of peers in 2008 is Volume of peers in 2008 is 28800. What was its volume in year at the beginning of 2006? Come on. $18,430. $20,000 again. 20,000. Again, I have given you 2008. You have to give me answer for 2006. So you have to go back. Never do that. Never do that. Now, there is a sense of reasoning. You know, sir, either say 20% increase this figure, either say 20% increase this figure. So this figure should be decreased by 20%. No way. No way. Forward increase, kindly write it somewhere. Forward increase is not equivalent to backward decrease, which means 20% forward increase is not equivalent to 20% backward decrease. It would be wrong. Raghu, है ना? सही बोल रहे? For example, I'll give you a very simple example. I won't mess out with something. See, 100, if you increase by 20%, comes out to be 120. 100 increased by 20% is 120. 120 decreased by 20%, minus 20% कर दीजिए, 96. 120 into 0.8 कर लो, decrease of 20% is into 0.8, 96. So forward increase is 20%, backward decrease 20% is not same. Never do that. So don't play with the figures that it forward is 20%, backward would be minus 20. Never do that. Kindly write it in golden words, capital words, mark it somewhere. Forward increase and backward decrease are not equivalent, not same. That is the reason I am giving you this figure. I know these are all the myths that you have. So what should we do? Nothing. Don't worry. देखो एक बार. Listen. He has given you figure here, isn't it? He wants figure here. है ना? So I say suppose this figure was what? X into 20% growth into 1.2 into 20% more growth into 1.2 is equal to 28800. खत्म. Come on. Easy. So X would be 28800 upon 1.2 into 1.2. And I promise you, we generally give figures which are cancelable. I know 12 into 12 is 144. 288 cancels by it. Isn't it twice? So I would always give you figure. They would always give you figures like this. 20,000. So volume of peers in year 2006 was 20,000. पीछे गया तो पीछे जाने के लिए भी फॉरवर्ड ही चलेगा. गॉट इट? समझ आया? I hope it is not too much for you guys, huh? All is well? Because I sincerely believe if you are here for 2.5 hours, then you should gain knowledge. And believe me, yaar, a lot of people will tell me, sir, shall we do RS Agarwal? Just check the paper. The worst part, most of you might not have even seen the paper. 2023. Yes, beta. हाँ ठीक है. यूनिटरी 144 to 100, 288 to 2000. चलेगा, बिल्कुल ठीक है. He says, sir, I said that if the figure was 100, it became 144. So 144 gives you 100, 288 gives you what? Unitary. A lot of people have a lot of myths, Shall we do RS Agarwal? What would you do? Just check the paper. Not a single question from RS Agarwal, not a single question from any book. Then people say, sir, which books we should consider? Do you think they would be checking the books and giving questions? Do you really think? You really deserve this? Reasoning by yourself. In the market, somebody meets you and he says, oh, CSAT to bahut easy hai. And you don't prepare. Wow, you cannot be an IS officer. First thing is, you should know your strengths and weaknesses. Somebody should not guide you. Market forces should not guide you. Why should you bother about what market says? In the market, there are 10 tea stalls. Every day you want to have a tea from a different tea stall. Why are you choosy at that time? You understand your strengths and weaknesses. If you have a weakness, you eradicate it. There are previous year students who are attending the classes again. Why? They say, every year something new is coming up. Yes, every year paper evolution ho raha hai paper ka. Why should not you take classes and eradicate it? You have a problem. Suppose you met with an accident and you were injured. What do? There are people those who say you don't need to go to doctor, but you know the injury yourself, so you should go to doctor. So I'm really sick of this. RS Agarwal kar bhai, this paper is better than SSC Bank PO. It is a paper level CAT. Level of paper is CAT. In CAT, if you are able to obtain 1/3 of marks, you get 99.99 percentile. What is the qualifying for UPSC? 99.99 percentile मांग रहा है तुमसे. मतलब, are you okay? Have you seen paper? When people come to me, sir, हो जाएगा, sir, senior बोल रहा है, sir, बड़ा भाई दिया था तो 2015 में, वो बोल रहा, अभी 2015 में पेपर बहुत इजी था. अब would you judge your elder brother by giving him paper? Go check it. He may not be able to solve it. I know so many people. I have a student who got 123 rank at first go. He became an IPS officer and he sat for the exam again. Next year he could not clear pre. Now how do you judge that guy? First attempt 123, second attempt to improve rank, could not clear pre. So don't go by what market says. Now you tell me, एक 123 रैंक का अगले साल प्री नहीं क्लियर हुआ, क्या बोलेगा? अपनी प्रॉब्लम को समझो. तुम्हें बेसिक्स ही नहीं आते और तुम हीरो बन रहे, अपन तो कर लेगा. क्या करेगा? पेपर देखा है? एंड एवरीवन हु कम्स टू मी बोले, बेटा पिछले साल का पेपर देखो. नहीं सर. तुम तैयारी कर रहे हो? आर यू ओके? पहली चीज, everyone needs a mentor. No, if you need a mentor, you need a therapist, not a mentor. You need to attend classes, you need to solve questions. CSAT is not notes making. मेरे मार्केट में नोट्स मिल जाएंगे, जाओ जाके छाप लो. क्या कर लेगा? solve it. That is how you are going to gain knowledge. This, if somebody writes it on a register and puts you in front, puts it in front of you, would you understand this? बोलेगा पता नहीं क्या लिखा है सर, तो बेकार ही पढ़ाते होंगे. So please guys, this is important, right? You have to clear this paper. Last year 10% people made it. Last year only 32% people made it. 32 was तो भी good figure. 10% is really bad. फिर वो मार्केट जाएगा, नारे लगाएगा, तुम लोग तुम्हारे कहने पे पेपर देगा क्या वो, कि तुमने अर्थमेटिक पढ़ा था, so you know he should give arithmetic. Wow, you crash landed a party expecting non-vegetarian food. It was a vegetarian party. Over. No free drinks. So don't crash land, guys. Don't go for this small time, trick courses. I would do it in this many hours, I would do it, I will give you tricks. Think. UPSC doesn't want tricksters. I can assure you that. They are the highest body in India. They want certain kind of individuals and they are testing you for that. Simple. Right? So I hope Guru Mantra 1 and Guru Mantra 2 are okay. Relationship between percentages and fractions. And secondly, percentage increase and decrease. You have clarity with that. Now let's talk about unitary method. Time and work. So all are like kind of into each other topics. No, it's very easy. A very same simple plain question would solve a very big problem, right? I say 20 people, 20 men कर लेते हैं. 20 men can finish a job in 200 days. One man would finish it in how many days? कितने दिन में होगा? अग्निश, अंगद, टेल मी बेटा, कोई इश्यू नहीं. अंकुर, 10, कितना होगा? 10. अग्निश, 10. Superman. Come on. 20 people in 200 days and one guy in 10 days. Wow, Superman, Spider-Man, Iron Man. First, poverty in arithmetics. पहले divide करो बचपन से. चल रहा है, isn't it? बस चल रहा है, चलने दो. ठीक है. फिर वो बोल रहा है ये गलत. क्यों गलत है? Come on. If 20 men in 200 days, one man is going to take more number of days. It has to be 200 into 20. It has to be 4,000 days. Damn it. Because one man would take more number of days. That's the reason it is multiplied. Now, comparison. This is it. Now, why so? 20 pens cost rupees 200. One pen would cost how much? अब तो 10 रुपये ही होगा. Right, it is 200 by 20 which is equal to rupees 10. So it's not called मेरी मर्जी. Right? मैं चाहे ये करूं, मैं चाहे वो करूं, मेरी मर्जी. No. Come on. If it is about men and work, obviously you should understand why to multiply, why to divide. यही नहीं पता था अपने को. This is called indirect proportion and this is called direct proportion. Now, if I give this question to you and you are giving me answer as 10, why would I hire you? Your basics are not there. भाई, how would you be an officer, boss? तुम तो काम का भटाधार कर दोगे. फिर बोलता है क्यों पूछ रहा है ये? अबे यही तो करने, काम ही तो करने. You have to make people work. You don't have to teach them economics, geography, history. You have to make them work as an administrator. तुम्हें खुद ही नहीं काम कराना आता, तुम दूसरों से क्या काम कराओगे? अभी क्लियर है? That is the reason unitary method is really important. Somewhere you have to use direct proportion, somewhere you have to use indirect. Right? Indirect is for men and work. Remember that. Clear है? So now we will talk about men and work. Okay. तुझसे तो ये उम्मीद नहीं थी चैतन्य. हाँ, यही तो बोला ही नहीं. दुख, ये डरना नहीं है यार, याद रखना एक चीज, one day you're going to be tested for your courage. UPSC pre, UPSC mains, UPSC interview, all of them are testing you for your courage. First thing is you need to have courage to face it. अभी भी डरना नहीं है, ये किसी से नहीं डरना है यार, ठीक है, ऐसे ही डरते रहता है सब लोग. If you are good, good would happen to you. Remember my sentence again. घबराओ मत. People those who have worked really hard, who has prepared for UPSC really well, could not make it. They're doing really well in their life. UPSC, as per preparation, teaches you a lot. I can give you in return, if you are good in terms of your preparation, whether you make it or not make it in terms of getting selected, but you would do something amazingly good. Don't worry. All right. Now, so it's about men and work. Men. Okay, I mean to say is people. Okay, men, women, children. Right. So, no, children should not work. Men, women, and work. Men, women, and work. Men and work. So, how many of your parents are into agriculture? Anyone? Great. How many of your parents are into industry? Industrialist है. इधर क्या करेगा? नहीं. Anyone whose parents are into contractorship, contractor, building contractor, road contractor. No? So if your parents are into agriculture, now listen, definitely they hire people for help. Agreed? They hire people from outside for help for their fields. Agreed or not? So how do they know how many people to hire? If a road is being built, certain number of people are required. How do a contractor knows that these many people are required? Great. Brilliant. By looking at the work. That's one idea. Capacity of the work is better actually. Basically quantum of work. Now, if you agree say quantum of work is known, then there has to be a unit with which it is measured. Quantum of work has to be measured ना, काम को तो measure करना आना चाहिए ना. Yes, agreed or not? If there is work, it has to be measured. Now he says quantum of work कितना है, so कितना काम है, कैसे measure करेगा? जैसे if your parents are hiring outsourcing, so how do they know how many people they require? They have a unit understanding, that unit of work. So every work has a unit of work. Unit of work. What is that unit of work? That unit of work is called man days. Please women, don't worry, it has nothing to do with men. Man days. Right? Every work that requires men also require time, right? So men work and days are the time, right? So for example, I say 20 men could finish a job in 100 days. 20 men could finish a job in 100 days. So I can categorically say this work requires 20 into 100 man days. Number of men into number of days. So what is man days? It is number of men into number of days. So now how do you define man days? Energy required to produce a work. Energy consumed to produce a work. Energy generated to finish the job. Total work done. Agreed. And when we talk about a particular work, energy required to create a particular work is constant. Agreed. Agar main see, now 20 men can finish a job in 100 days. This work requires 20,000 man days. It is constant. Agreed or not? Energy required is constant. This work requires 2000 units of man days. So if I change my question, I say, in how many days 50 men would finish the same job? 40 days. How? Now you say, sir, 50 men, let 50 men finish the job in X days. So energy required would be 50 into X, which is equal to 2000, which means X is equal to 40 days over. That is a utility. If I increase number of men, number of days would automatically decrease because energy required is constant. That is the reason when you have to get the work done quickly, you increase number of men. Agreed? Why do you increase number of men? Because man days, the unit of work is constant. Abhi clear hai? Guys, is it clear? I'll make it more clear. Don't worry. पहले लिख लो इसको, kindly write it. Okay, tomorrow everyone is coming, okay? You have a class tomorrow, okay? करते हैं गवर्नमेंट छुट्टी है ना, ये गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है. आ रहे हो? Yes, yes, absolutely right. रघु अभी बात करते हैं, don't worry. So there is no declaration of holiday over here, though there is a Bhandara by us tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So please skip your regular lunch and 25 ma'am ka Bhandara hai. Come, eat with us and come to the class. Don't eat and sleep. Yes, there is near Karolbag metro station. We have an office. Yes. You know the Bhandara, na? Bhandara is a free food. So there are a lot of students, those who actually live on Bhandaras during the months of Navratras and Diwali days. A lot of lavish Bhandaras would be there. It's called free food and good quality food. So tomorrow you would also enjoy that. Please come, right? So, shall we proceed? Right. So we make life more easier with man days. Raghu, it would be more easier now, right? For example, listen, if M1 men could finish a job in D1 days and M2 men could finish the same job in D2 days. M1 men could finish a job in D1 days and M2 men could finish the same job in D2 days. From today onwards, this type of question directly input M1 into D1 is equal to M2 into D2. Cut up. Or because man days is constant. Same work. M1 men could do a job in D1 days, M2 men could do the same job. Could do नहीं होता चाहिए यार. M1 men finish a job in D1 days, M2 men finish the same job in D2 days, and M1 into D1 is equal to M2 into D2. Clear? Come on, give me answer. If 100 men could finish the job in 20 days, Find number of days taken by 80 men to finish the same job. Agnish. Give me answer everyone. Sanjay, come on. Done? And Sanjay, you have to come for every class, okay? Don't miss the classes. Done? Hey, come on यार, अंकुर हो गया बेटा. Everyone. ये तो यार easy है यार, come on यार. So this is M1, recognize M1, and this is D1, and this is M2. So he's asking about D2, right? So it is 100 into 20 is equal to 80 into D2. So D2 comes out to be 25 days. So it saves you a lot of, statements. Most of you left mathematics after 10th class because of statement questions. है ना? Many of us tell me, sir, you should have met us earlier. The destiny has other roles to play. है ना? Clear है, guys? हाँ? अरे बिता दूं यार. यार यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन में तुम लोगों को सीरियस नहीं होना है, ठीक है? रिमेंबर दैट. कितना लोग ना सीरियस हो जाता है. ये क्लियर है? दिस इज पॉइंट नंबर 1. पहले खुश रहना है, तैयारी वेरी हो जाएगा, ठीक है? वो तुम सीरियल देखता है, मूवी देखता है, सीरियस नहीं होना है. हैप्पी लोगों ने भी किया है, राइट? हैप्पी पीपल हैव आल्सो क्लियर्ड इट. आई कैन लेट यू मीट सो मेनी. कांस्टेंट good hard work of 5-6 hours a day and happy. And yes, no gyan distribution. That's really important. No gyan distribution. चाय पे खड़ा है, डिस्कस कर रहा है ना. Playful. I don't know anything. Works. समझा? The second point, point number 2. If M1 men could finish a job in D1 days, working T1 hours per day. T1 hours per day. Definitely when you also work, you have stipulated hours of working, 8 hours a day work. Isn't it? 8 hours a day work. Something like that. So now the parameter is not only days, parameter is also hours, right? Similarly, M2 men could finish same job in D2 days, working T2 hours per day. So a new parameter has come, hours per day. Don't worry, it is M1 D1 T1 is equal to M2 D2 T2. क्लियर? अब मैन आवर्स हो गया. देखो ना यार, मैन इनटू टाइम इज अ यूनिट. सो डेज की जगह आवर्स हो गए. वेरी गुड अग्निश, वेरी राइट. ही इज राइट. ही सेज नाउ द यूनिट इज नॉट मैन डेज सर, इट इज मैन आवर्स, because number of days into hours is total hours. Total hours into man is number of man hours. It's okay. Issue नहीं, because it is not about man days or man hours. It is about men into time. It may be if I give you seconds also, तो into seconds भी कर देना, ठीक है कि नहीं? So it would be men seconds. चलेगा? तो सेम कर देंगे. एक में if there are days given, one में hours given, so change it to hours, है ना? So change it properly into hours only. Good. So now listen to this. Karo, give me answer for this. Come on. 20 men working 9 hours a day can complete the job in 12 days. In how many days would 15 men complete the same work in working 6 hours a day? Sanjay, give me answer. Great. I've named my Bhatija Angad. Nobody gave right. I have daughters. So one right है अंगद. हो गया? Agnish. Everyone. Hey Raghu. Done. Recognize. अंकुर हो गया बेटा. Recognize variables. देखो. This is M1. Right. I don't care. You have to recognize it. This is M1. This is T1. And here. And this is D1, and then this is M2, this is T2. He is asking you about D2. Do I need to solve it? हो जाएगा guys, बताओ इधर देखो सब लोग. हो जाएगा? Done. और चलो यार 20 into 9 into 12 is equal to 15 into 6 into D2. Solve it, get your answer. Okay? See how easy it is? Then third thing, point number 3. Point number 3. If M1 men could finish W1 units in D1 days, so now the work comes. W1 units of work. Sir, what is work? If a road is being built, length of the road would be the work. If a well is being dug, the depth of the well would be the work. ठीक है? If something is being made, right? Suppose number of chairs are being made, so number of chairs is going to be work. This is something you have to recognize from a question. All right, and M2 men could finish W2 units in D2 days. In D2 days. In this case, it is M1 D1 by W1 is equal to M2 D2 by W2. The work is always divided. Upon हो जाता है. This was a 6-mark question in your 9th class. We used to multiply, divide. Most of you lost mathematics because of that multiplication and division. ए लिखा, सब लोग लिखो यार. हाँ T1 मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएगी. सिर्फ वर्क प्रोपोर्शन इज ऑलवेज डिवाइडेड है. ठीक है, वर्क इज ऑलवेज डिवाइडेड. रिमेनिंग ऑल द थिंग्स, अगर इसी में ही इज राइट, ही सेज, एंड आई कैन मेक वन मोर चेंज. वर्किंग T1 hours per day and working T2 hours per day. In that case, it would be M1 D1 T1 by W1 is equal to M2 D2 T2 by W2. So I have solved a very big problem for you guys, right? It was the toughest question in 9th class. देखो, have you written it? लिख लो. No, why you are saying it is divided by W1 and W2? That is what you are asking now, Agnish. This is something really interesting. I can give you reason. See, first statement is M1 man can finish W1 unit in D1 days. So first statement is actually giving you W1 units can be produced by M1 into D1 of effort. Right? 1 unit would be produced by M1 into D1 upon W1 of effort. Over there, second statement, W2 units by M2 D2 effort. 1 unit M2 D2 by W2. And effort per unit is always same. Effort per unit is always same, right? Per unit work is always same. Clear? So that's the reasoning. Guys, shall we do questions? यार क्वेश्चन करेगा, ऑफिसर बनेगा, इतना डेड. Come on, answer me. Everyone has to solve it now. हम्म M1 D1 एनर्जी हुआ, एफर्ट इज एनर्जी ओनली। या एक यूनिट वर्क के लिए कितना एफर्ट लग रहा है, राइट? और वो दोनों सेम होगा, ठीक है गाइस? वेरी गुड। Oh, everyone has to answer. I have a student, he is from MP. He has been coming to me for past 2-3 years. He meets me over here only. A month back he met me, he had cleared MP का paper. Sir, CSAT उड़ा दिया. It takes time. It takes time. And when he started coming, he was really bad. But I've seen people, those who are consistent, now they make it. They really make it. People, those who do a lot of circumstantial weeping, they generally don't make it. Yes, it is tough to live in Delhi. It is tough to prepare. Everything is really messed up, है ना? But that's the beauty. That's the reason you are here. कितनी हो गया? रघु, ए संजय, बता हो गया? टेंशन नहीं लेने गए? M1, see M1, 32 carpenters, M1, right? Days 25 days, D1. Number of tables is W1. Recognize that. All you need to do is recognize the variables, right? And then he says how many number of tables. So he is asking what is W2 by 30 carpenters. M2 is given to you in 24 days. D2 is given to you. So 32 into 25 upon 400 is equal to 30 into 24 upon W2. Find W2. To solve it, W2 comes out to be 30 into 24 into 400 upon 32 into 25. Solve it, you will get W2 as 360 tables. Now solving is something that you have to do. Hey, good enough? एक और करें? Shall we do one more? Hey, don't worry about this assignment. You don't need to write down questions. I'll send you this assignment. Okay? किसी को क्वेश्चन नहीं लिखना है. सॉल्विंग करो, कम ऑन. नोट्स नहीं बनाना है इसका, सॉल्विंग करो, कम ऑन. $72 guys. Come on, everyone, try it. पक्का? Recognized M1, 19 men. 19 men M1 could build a 36-meter long road W1, D1, T1. 19 into 25 into 4 upon 36 is the work, which would be in the denominator, right, is equal to what is the length of the similar road. So this is something we need to find by 20 men in 38 days working 5 hours a day. See how easy the question becomes. All right. Only thing is you have to recognize what is M1, D1, 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 right? Nothing else, right? So W2 comes out to be 20 into 38 into 5 into 36 upon 19 into 25 into 4. Yeah, 72. So these questions can be managed easily, I hope so. At least if this question comes, generally comes in state exams. This was one question in I think 2015-16. There was a question in UPSC also. Then they have moved forward. They have moved forward, you know that, right? But this is the basic thing that you should know. And this is the reason most of you left mathematics after 10th class also. So this was very easy actually, right? Can we raise it now? Can we move forward? Now, this is one problem which has given us a lot of pain. In a hostel, 200 students have food available for 50 days. After 10 days, 50 more students join the hostel. The remaining food would last for remaining men for how many days? अब क्या करेगा बता आंसर दे ज्ञान नहीं घर जाके आया था तू ओके जल्दी यश Anyone who's online, you can reply on the Telegram group as well. Guys, come on. Now, this is the difference. Understand this now. Please come here. Just don't worry. Let's talk about this. You know, when we were in 9th class, we said 200 students have one provision for 50 days. I still remember we used to take it as one as a unit, right? One provision in these many days, and then we used to check, you know, how much is, so let's see. There you go. In a hostel, 200 students have food available for 50 days. Total provision from today onwards is 200 into 50. Men into days. Men into days, not one. 200 into 50. Clear, Sanjay? Men into days. How much was the total provision? Men into days. He says after 10 days. So I say provision consumed in 10 days. 10 days में 200 students were eating for 10 days. 200 into 10. Clear? है ना? So how much provision is left? Minus कर दो. Provision left. So this minus this is 200 into 40. 200 into 50 minus 200 into 10 is 200 into 40. Or you want to multiply, you can multiply. This is 10,000 units. This is 2,000 units minus it comes out to be 8,000 units. I don't generally multiply because ये cancel हो जाते तो कोई point नहीं है. Clear? And now this remaining provision has to be consumed by how many men? It has to be consumed by how many men? He says 50 more students join the hostel, which means it has to be consumed by 200 plus 50 students. Plus 50 जान के लिखे मैंने, so that when you revise you should understand. 200 plus 50 students for x days. Find x. Man into day, 32 हो गया. So x comes out to be 200 into 40 upon 250. Cancel. 32 days. So easy. This is the type of question they are giving nowadays. Last to last year, same type of question. Last to last, 2021. This was a question that came. The same kind of question. But the question, listen to me. Remaining food would last for remaining men for how many days? Yes, answer is 32 days. But I can change the question. UPSC is masters at changing question. My question, I can change the question and say, for how many total days did food last? 42, right? 32 was remaining food for remaining men. But if I say total number of days food lasted, then these 10 days would also be counted after 10 days. So 10 days there was consumption and then there was 32 days of consumption. So total number of days of consumption is 10 plus 32, 42 days. ये नोट कर लो प्लीज. ये देते हैं ये लोग क्वेश्चन. Total number of days the food would last. Total number of days food would last is 42 days. Done. ठीक है. Can we do one more question now? Let's see. Can I raise this? Everyone okay, guys? Raghu? क्योंकि after 10 days 50 more students join in. 50 more students have come in. So total number of students कितना हो गया? 200 plus 50, 250. पहले 200 था रघु. There were 200 students before and 50 more join in. All right. So 250 students हो गए. I have symbolically written so that when you revise you should understand what I have written. Shall I proceed? I can change the same question. Same question I say, now listen, I change it. In a hostel, 200 students have food left for 50 days. After 10 days, 40 students left the hostel. Change the question. After 10 days, 40 students left the hostel. Total number of days the food would last now. And I'm asking you, total number of days the food would last now. $60. Good. Then total आ गया है ना 50 plus 10 कितना 60. Raghu? Okay. Now what is happening again? The process is same. He says total food is 200 into 50 consumed in 10 days would be 200 into 10. So left food is 200 into 40. This 200 into 40 has to be consumed by now 40 men left, which means it is 200 minus 40 times x. Right. So x comes out to be how much? 200 into 40 upon 160, 50 days. But the question was total number of days food lasted. So total number of days food lasted would be 50 plus 10, 60 days. So I hope people joining in, people leaving due to they have died because of epidemic, blah, 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 everything is sorted out. Clear? Eh? So this is the way to attempt this question. Shall we proceed to the next question? Okay, note it, please note it. Remember to take good care of your health if you are in Delhi or in North India. ठंड लग गई तो 4-5 दिन खराब हो जाएगा. That doesn't mean you don't take bath. He doesn't take bath. Why would he? Rajasthan doesn't have water. Now listen, Niti, if 40 students left, how many are left? देखो food left तो उतना ही है, same thing. But now total number of students left are 200 minus 40, 160 students. So number of days would automatically increase. The number of days is 50 days. But my question was total number of days the food lasted. It is 50 plus ये वाला 10 भी count हो रहा है. This is very famous in Rajasthan because they never had water and they had to build a temple. They built it with ghee. You know that? There is a temple in Bikaner which is built by cement and ghee because there was no water. There was scarcity of water. Because nobody could enter India without crossing Rajasthan. And they used to take tax, entry tax. Anything that has to pass through that line, there has to be, any trading has to be done, it has to be done through Marwadis. This is the community that has built India. Frankly telling you. Marwadi community. They have taught business to India. You might be aware of it because you are from Rajasthan. I have traveled length and breadth of Rajasthan. And this is the best time to travel Rajasthan, guys. If you are not appearing for UPSC. Right? Next देखो. करके दिखाओ UPSC question. Come on. Got it. Good. Everyone. Got it? Okay. And once you solve these kind of problems in classroom, things are sorted out. Because these are the type of problems that are appearing in the exams also. Now, what is the first statement? 10 men can finish a work in 10 days. So, total work is 10 into 10. Right? Now, I'll do it in single line. See, he says, they started working together, but after 4 days, 4 men left. They started working together, and after 4 days, 4 men left. So for first 4 days, 10 men were working. So my logic is हमेशा clear, men and days. Write men's and then days. 10 men worked for 4 days. Always write men and days. Never do the reverse. Alright, it would be really good in terms of solving things. Okay, 10 men working for 10 days, men days. And for first 4 days, they started working together. After 4 days, 4 men left. So after 4 days, how many men are left? 6 men are left for X days. Again, men day. Find X. 6 men are left for X days. Right. So ये कितना हो जाएगा? 100 minus 40 is equal to 6x, which means X is equal to 10 days. But UPSC being UPSC, question क्या था? Find total number of days required to finish the job. Total number of days required to finish the job is 10 days here plus 4 days here. Total 14 days. These are the type of questions you can expect. They never give you tough questions. It's a myth. But they give you beautiful questions. That's the truth. Yeah, you could have written, na, ki sir, total work 100, work finished in 4 days is 40, work left is 60, which has to be done by 6 men in X days, X comes out to be 10, isn't it? That is what you have done. It's okay, perfect. I'm giving you one more vision. Same hai na, yaar, it is same. See, this minus this is equal to this. This is total work minus this is the work created is equal to 6x. This is what you are doing, na? Total minus 60. 100 minus 40, 60. Same hai, ditto same hai. Yes, what I have done is I have written in one single line. Nothing else, there is no change. Clear hai guys? So I hope good for today. इसमें सबका आवाज निकलेगा. Yes sir. I won't stop. I have been very vocal about one thing. CSAT is important. They want good officers. They won't budge. They won't make easy papers. This paper is not because you are aspirant. This is a selection process. They don't care about who you are. They don't care about you have invested 1 month, half month, 1 full year. They are hiring good brains in India. If you have a problem, if your basics are so weak, come attend classes, get it sorted out. Simple. Or go discuss in the market. That is your choice. I am here, I take classes, and if it is a 2.5 hour classes, there is no Gyan, only 2.5 hour classes. Come join the class. RC is also taken by me. I am taking reading comprehension also. I'll make you perfect in reading comprehension. Perfect. Don't worry. I am doing it in 5 o'clock batch. It is an immense response that I am getting. And whatever you think, whatever you feel, you know, the first batch started in IIT in August, and most of the students are IITians. Yes. They came, they sorted out their problems, they went away. Khatam. I understand. There is a lot of, you guys are taking up a lot of classes. I think you should not ignore CSAT. Rather, you should work upon something like current affair by yourself. There are certain things that will be done by yourself. Read newspaper every day by yourself. Don't take outside help. Baki, for any help in aptitude and reasoning, I am always here. Thank you so much, guys. Jai Hind to all of you. God bless you all.